Welcome back everyone. Yes, once again it's time to go balls deep. This time into the mind of Kai Chisaki Overhaul. Not too long ago we went into the deep thinking of Uchiha Madara, explaining why he did nothing wrong. If you lot haven't seen it, then make sure to do so. But for Overhaul's philosophy, we are going to take a different direction. To enter the mind of an hardened killer, we will be looking at all sides of his perspective and then try to break down his actions. Like, is Overhaul really an evil person? Does he have evil intentions and motives? And I know you guys are shouting anime balls deep. Of course Overhaul's evil, he's a scumbag. This video might just get a little bit philosophical. And guys, if you like this series of us breaking down your favorite villains or anti-heroes, then make sure to smash that like button to show your support. And don't forget to let us know in the comment section below which characters you want us to cover next. With that, let's cue the intro and get right into it. Alright guys, so before I begin this video, I need to make it clear that I'm not justifying Overhaul's actions or the way he went about with his goals. Like damn, I don't want comments flying in saying, what the hell anime balls deep? How can you say Overhaul isn't evil or didn't do anything wrong? Listen yeah, I'm not saying that. This guy tortured our homegirl Eri, an innocent child, again and again, ripping her body apart, disassembling it and then reassembling it with his quirk. I'm not a monster, but it doesn't mean I won't get into the mind of a monster. So again, I'm not going to be disputing Overhaul being a sociopath or even a psychopath. But what I am going to do is explain Overhaul's actions from his point of view, so you guys can understand how a character like Overhaul would be motivated in doing what he did. I'm going to break down Overhaul so we can all understand that Overhaul isn't truly evil. Instead, he is just a troubled individual with mental health issues, and even in the court of law, he might just get away being sent to a mental health institution for extensive therapy. First, let's start with who is Overhaul. Kai Chisaki, known as Overhaul due to his quirk of granting him the ability to disassemble and reassemble anything he touches, effectively giving him control over matter. Overhaul was the Yakuza captain of the Shigaraki, literally meaning the 8 precepts of death. Before taking over the organization, Shigaraki was led by a man known as the boss. Yes, we don't know his name, he's just known as the boss. During his reign as the leader, the boss implemented morals and a gangster code within the Yakuza, as he believed even the Yakuza had to be honorable even in their own ways. With his attitude and power of his organization, the boss adopted a lot of lost souls and brought them into his own organization, Kai being one of them. As a boy, Kai literally grew up within Shigaraki. However, during his time, maybe due to events prior to his involvement with the Yakuza, Kai developed a lot of personality and mental disorder, like from being an antisocial sociopath to developing an extreme condition of misanthropy, or more commonly known as germaphobia. Yes, Overhaul is an extreme germaphobe. However, just to clarify, it's not really explained whether this is actually due to mental conditions or a physical condition, as if this is a mental condition, then it is very deep to the point of actually materializing into giving him physical symptoms. Like my man will literally break out in hives. But this isn't really uncommon, as extreme stress can cause a breakout, and if Kai's fear of germs causes him extreme anxiety and stress, then it would explain the hives. Now the reason I'm pointing out Kai's mental health is because all of this will explain his overall actions. For instance, Kai's germophobia will dictate his interaction with people around him, including his gang members, as he feels that everyone around him is unclean to the point where he doesn't want to be touched by others or even breathe the same air as them. This is why my man wears an air filtering plague doctor mask and makes his followers do the same. If by chance he does get touched by something he believed is dirty, Kai would not only break out with hives but mentally flip out, going batshit crazy. Just a side note about the mask, this practice is just an extreme of what actually happens in real life, especially around East Southeast Asia, as some people would wear surgical masks to avoid spreading or catching an illness. Okay, so now we should kind of understand why this guy wears a doctor mask and gets agitated by dirt and being touched by others. But this mental disorder of germophobia actually goes further into shaping Kai's worldview and plan. I spoke enough about Kai's germophobia, let's get into his other mental disorder, sociopathy. But before I explain this, I want to quickly clarify that sociopaths are made while psychopaths are born. I further explained the difference on my Death Note video, Light Yagami is a sociopath. But from everything we witnessed with Kai, it's safe to say that this man is a sociopath, which can also indicate other personality disorders like narcissism, where at times we can see in Overhaul, as he displayed a sense of grand delusion with his concept of viewing himself as the only person in the world that's enlightened to the true nature of Quirks. This is important because if Kai has an antisocial personality disorder, then making Kai accountable for his actions become quite questionable, as only a sane person who plots for their own gain or malice is truly evil, but a person who genuinely believes in their delusion and acts upon them would be classified as clinically insane. So let's break some of this down. Through Kai's interaction, we know that the only person he has ever shown concern for is his former boss of the Shei Hasaikai, who rescued him from the streets as a youngster and raised him as a Yakuza. The boss is pretty much like a father figure to him, and the Shei Hasaikai is his home. However, even at a young age, Kai shown heavy signs of his personality disorder. Like back in his old days when Kai was a young Yakuza, he was known to be extremely ruthless and would murder anyone who didn't show proper respect or loyalty to the Shei Hasaikai, which would constantly create fights between rival gangs. Due to the violent and seemingly immoral path that Kai was going down, the boss even attempted to push him towards a more honorable direction, explaining to Kai that a man must follow the code of conduct even while trying to uphold the name of the Shei Hasaikai. However, in Kai's sociopathic mind, this concept flew over his head. He couldn't understand it. Although having a feeling of gratitude towards his boss, the only way he felt he could express his debt towards his boss was fighting others for the sake of the organization. And after the rise and popularity of Quirks, the Shei Hasaikai organization fell under the shadows as their power and influence in such world became obsolete. Remember guys, for Kai, this organization was his home. The boss was his own father. Everything that Kai held dear to him was going down in utter ruins. So now, we already observed two major mental disorder Kai is going through, sociopathy and an extreme case of germophobia, which when mixed together in a world of Quirks, brought disaster. As with the combination of both these disorders, Kai reached his own twisted outlook on life. In Kai's sociopathic mind, to understand his agitation and fear of germs, to feel like he's not so different, to feel like he's not crazy, he believed that everyone around him was the problem. To him, they were dirty and disgusting, leading Kai to another condition known as misanthropy, which is a condition of having the feeling of hatred, distrust or contempt of the human species or human nature as a whole. Along with that, this led Kai to feel that the abilities of Quirk itself was disgusting and dirty, as Kai believed that Quirks were a plague on the world. This thought was actually due to false theories spreading around like Quirks being originating from rats, which is untrue. But to an extreme germaphobe like Kai, this made him feel repulsed at the idea of Quirks, which also fueled his belief that this plague of Quirks infected people with syndromes of either heroism or villainy. So we have an individual who has strong feelings of hatred towards Quirks, a strong feeling of indebtedness and gratitude towards his boss and the Shei Hasaikai. Now Quirks being one of the main causes and downfall for the Shei Hasaikai gave more reasons for Kai to resent the concept of Quirks. At this point, Kai is probably having a massive tantrum in his bedroom saying, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate the concept of Quirks. It ruined everything for him. Like, you gotta feel sorry for the dude. Coincidentally, after learning about the quirk of his boss's granddaughter Eri of rewinding, it gave Kai an amazing idea and opportunity to solve all his problems. Of one, removing the plague of Quirks, 2. Bringing the organization back to his glory days before the rise of Quirks, as Kai believed that he could produce a quirk destroying drug out of Ares' cells, which would ultimately give the Yakuza enough power to take control of the black market, as the drug would be used to develop quirk killer bullets, which would then be distributed throughout Japan. Like, who wouldn't want this weapon in a world filled with quirks? By controlling an entirely new market for quirks, Kai could reinstate the Yakuza as the biggest superpower in Japan. Anyone in Kai's situation with his problems would probably feel that this plan is the most logical course of action. I know it's hard to imagine having a mental illness of a lack of emotions and care for other humans, with the combination of also having an extreme crippling fear of germs. But really, do try to think like Kai. Seriously, put yourself in his shoe. My man has physical symptoms due to the fall of germs and anything relating to touching him. He also has no understanding of love, or even how to go about expressing his gratitude to others, as we have seen with Kai's interaction with the boss. Remember, the only person that Kai felt loyalty or any feeling of positivity towards was his boss. But when his boss disagreed with Kai's idea, he ended up attacking him. Yes, my guy literally dropped his old man to the point of leaving him in a coma. He then takes over the Shei Hassaikai under a twisted assumption that he's doing it for the betterment of the organization and his boss that he just knocked down. And to top it off, who would really think that abusing the granddaughter of someone you respect and uphold highly is something they would want? The only way anyone can explain this is because Kai truly believes he is doing the right thing. This is a high indication that Kai simply cannot understand human relations, attachment, and overall emotions. Kai cannot see his hypocrisy because he is blinded by his mental disorder and delusion. I don't believe for one second Kai has any wicked intentions in his heart. In reality, what I do see is a scared man trying to create a better world to live in. Overhaul is a victim of mental health. Although he committed evil actions, he isn't evil himself, as an evil person is an individual who harbors evil intentions behind their actions. Unlike Tomura Shigaraki, he doesn't have any personal plot for revenge. Overhaul's plan wasn't due to him feeling pleasure to cause harm to others, but an ideal of what he believed was right. Honestly speaking, Overhaul and Hero Killa Stain isn't so different. However, Hero Killa Stain still fights for his own political reasonings and belief, where his reasonings could align more to a sane person's mind, whereas Overhaul fights for a world seeking to be free of germs and the safety of his home he calls the Shei Hassaikai. What do you guys think? Do you think Overhaul is actually evil? Did he really do anything wrong according to his worldview? Can you guys ever see Overhaul turning a new leaf with the right help? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope this video wasn't too controversial, but if you guys liked it, then smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know which characters' minds you want us to go balls deep in next. Till then, I catch you guys next time.